have to say, Miriam, I watched Sheldon sitting so proud in the White House when we gave Miriam the Presidential Medal of Freedom. That's the highest award you can get as a civilian. It's the equivalent of the Congressional Medal of Honor, but civilian version. It's actually much better because everyone gets the Congressional Medal of Honor. That's soldiers. They're either in very bad shape because they've been hit so many times by bullets, or they're dead. She gets it, and she's a healthy, beautiful woman. And they're rated equal.
Donald Trump has demonstrated yet again why he should never be the president of the United States. He should never have been and should never be again the president of the United States. Certainly, he should not be the commander-in-chief of our armed forces. Why? Because he has shown time and again that he has absolutely no respect for our military, the military personnel, the people who put life and limb on the line, and the people over which he wishes to serve as commander-in-chief. He has historically disrespected them. And yet he's given a pass by Maga because I don't even know why at this point, except to say that perhaps the Maga movement is as devoid of integrity as their leader, Donald Trump. Because how can you look at the pattern, the clear pattern of disrespect for the very people they tell us we have to respect and honor our troops and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and stand for the national anthem. And if you don't stand, then you're not showing respect for our troops. And yet, here's Donald Trump showing the ultimate disrespect. Again, this is not the first time. But this is just another data point in a series of data points that show a very clear pattern that Donald Trump is not only a man of low morals and low integrity, but a man who disrespects the very troops that he wants to serve as commander-in-chief over.
Everyone gets the Congressional Medal of Honor. That's soldiers. They're either in very bad shape because they've been hit so many times by bullets, or they're dead. She gets it. And she's a healthy, beautiful woman. And they're rated equal.
And yet MAGA is going to let him get away with it again. They let him get away with it in 2016 when he insulted John McCain's record because he was a prisoner of war.
And I said, somebody should run against John McCain, who has been, in my opinion, not so hot. And I supported him. I supported him for president. I raised $1 million for him. It's a lot of money. I supported him. He lost. He let us down. But, he lost. So I never liked him as much after that because I don't like losers. But Frank, let me get to it. He hit me. He's not a war hero. He's a war hero. He's a war hero.
5.5 years.
He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay? I hate to tell you.
That wasn't a bridge too far from MAGA. No, they elected him that year. They still support him to this day, despite the fact that John Kelly, Donald Trump's former chief of staff, made it clear on the record that he himself heard with his own ears Donald Trump referred to our troops as losers and suckers and didn't want to be seen taking pictures with soldiers who were amputees, who had lost limbs, legs, and arms.
What was in it for them? This is Kelly confirming on the record stories of Trump insulting Senator John McCain and former President George H.W. Bush because in Vietnam and in World War II, respectively, the former aviators were shot down. Kelly describes Trump as, quote, a person that thinks those who defend their country in uniform or are shot down or seriously wounded in combat or spend years being tortured as POWs are all, quote, suckers because, quote, there is nothing in it for them. A person that did not want to be seen in the presence of military amputees because, quote, it doesn't look good for me.
But that's not a bridge too far for MAGA. I don't know who I'm more shocked at or appalled by. Is it Donald Trump, who has clearly shown that he has no integrity, no morals, no character? He doesn't have a deep thought inside of him. In fact, he thought the compliment that he gave the mega donor, Miriam Adelson, we'll get to that in a minute. He believed that that compliment was a profound compliment. It shows the structure of his mind and his thinking and his soul, that he can't give a compliment or lavish praise on one group without insulting another group. How else would you come up with the ridiculous juxtaposition of comparing the Congressional Medal of Honor with the Presidential Medal of Freedom? Except that is your manner of thinking. That is the manner of which you think a compliment exists. Instead of just simply congratulating again a person who honestly got Miriam Adelson. She has donated, she and her husband, Sheldon Adelson, they have donated over $427 million to Republicans. Over $127 million they donated to Donald Trump in 2020, and they're slated to spend $100 million this year to help Donald Trump get reelected. I think that has something to do with the reason he chose them to give, or rather Miriam, to give her the Presidential Medal of Freedom. But regardless, whatever the case, there was absolutely no need for this juxtaposition, this comparison between one group of honorees, the Congressional Medal of Honor, established during the Civil War, for people who go above and beyond the call of duty at the risk of life and limb to do something in battle that distinguishes themselves from every other soldier. Why on earth would you go out of your way to compliment one at the expense of the other? It shows you exactly the type of thinking that is involved in Donald Trump's mind. This is how he processes. He does not know how to simply congratulate someone else without insulting another individual. What is it going to take? What does he have to do? In fact, I've come to the conclusion that there's literally nothing that he can do that will actually shake some of these MAGA people out of their stupor. They are so enamored with this movement that he has created, this resurgence of bigotry, this resurgence of idiocracy, a level of disrespect and contempt for all things except money and power. At his core, his soul is corrupt. His character is bereft of anything but vanity and bigotry. And this is the person that evangelicals and Christians and service people, this is the person that you want to serve over this country again? What will it take for this group of people to finally see Donald Trump for who he is? The reality, the answer to that question is that they will never see it because they don't want to see it. They will always excuse him. They will always allow him to get away with more and more, which should be a signal to the rest of us that we must do everything in our power to make sure that not only Donald Trump never gets in power again, but that entire base of support that will support him no matter what he does, no matter how ridiculous it is, no matter how disrespectful it is. We need to make sure that they never get in power again. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe to this channel, Really American, where we're pushing back against this MAGA movement